Off the bat and off the wall.
That was violent. Jung-hoo tries to get a win over the Rockies, 8-6. And oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. Good morning to everybody out there. Get off the graveyard shift. If you're at work, what is happening? You're getting ready for work. What is happening? If you're those on the roadways here, drive safely. Drive safely. And the overnight dancers, hopefully you had a great night. Business was booming for you. Listen, we got YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. Shout out to all of them. Good morning to them. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal First Class Money Market today. And shout out to the Xfinity Mobile Text line. Spadoni, good morning to you. Lubbock, Carter in the building. Of course, Spadoni in for Shasky this week. Week's been flying by here. Watching the Colorado Rockies.
Ugh.
That's who we all thought the A's would be this year. They're not even close. I don't know what the direction is of the Colorado Rockies. I don't know what their plan is, and I want to give Giants credit. They're beating them up, and they've been beating them up at Coors Field under Farhan Zaidi. But Spadoni, man, I just look. I'm happy the Giants won. They won 2 in a row. Hey, you can salvage another game on this road trip, win 4 in 10 games. You dress it up and look good, go 4-6. But the Rockies, I kept scratching my head thinking, what is their plan? What are they doing?
Well, we were talking about the soul of a city and a sports city yesterday and certain teams that could represent that. There's no soul in the Colorado Rockies. They have been lifeless damn near my entire life. It's been a nice ballpark, but I have never, outside of that one World Series run they had, what was that, 07, whatever that was?
They lost to the Red Sox.
Yeah, and they had like a 2-week off hiatus or whatever because they just kept sweeping everyone. Right. Outside of that, they have just been a nothing burger for me. Like, and there's a couple teams like that around certain leagues. For the most part, you can go like the Washington Wizards have been one of those for my entire life, basically. Just franchises that just don't do anything for anyone. Yeah, they might get thrown a bone. They had the All-Star game there a couple years ago. They had the Home Run Derby. That was fun. But they're just one of those teams where I forget about them. You forget about them, but they're so bad this year that you cannot. It's like a car wreck. You just got to look at it. And for the Giants, you're just happy you got the series win. Yeah. And you know what? That's fine by me.
You're not complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Some wins.
This was a ultimate slump buster. We said it going into it. If you lost to the Colorado Rockies this series,
it's a problem.
Then it's a problem. But get back onto the horse here and see if you could carry this momentum into some tougher matchups ahead.
Look, the Rogers brothers pitched well yesterday. Rogers brothers, that is.
That's something to scoff at. If you pitch well at Coors, that does something for me.
Jordan Hicks does a little. 5 innings, gave up to 7 hits and 2 walks. It's a big ballpark. You got through 5 though, and you get the win. Jordan Hicks now improves to 3-1 on the season. Rockies are just terrible. They gave up the 6th spot at the top of the 2nd inning. And it was good to see Ramos. By the way, Ramos got called up due to Soler going to the IL due to a shoulder strain. So Ramos was DH last night. He goes 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Batted 7th. Yaz was batting 6th, and Yaz went 2 for 4. You got Chapman. He got a couple knocks yesterday, 2 for 5. Michael Conforto starting it off with a bang. So the Giants do get a win. But I was just thinking, man, the Rockies, like they do in soccer in the Premier League, you don't win enough games, and you stink, you get relegated. You don't get to play in the big boy league. Now, what would that mean for the Rockies? I don't know. But that's a AAA organization right now. They're a AAA organization. Chris Bryant, big money man they signed a couple years ago, has done nothing. He's been hurt for the most part. It's been hurt.
Great move by the Giants not getting him and going after him, actually.
Yeah, I'll give
Farhan some credit there. He saw the writing on the wall when it came to him. Maybe a guy like Gosman in the past would have been nice to keep, but even Kevin Gosman's actually kind of struggling this year with Toronto. But to your point, they just have nothing to be hopeful about. I mean, at least back in the day, you remember they had Tulo. He was always hurt, though. Who was my other guy? Gonzalez, right?
So, Carlos Gonzalez.
And they had Todd Helton there forever. Now he's a Hall of Fame, or he should be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he got inducted or not.
I think he got inducted.
Did he get inducted this past one? I feel like
he just got inducted in the last class.
Todd Helton.
He'll be giving a speech at Cooperstown. Yep.
Yes, he did. So so shout out Todd Helton. But again, outside of that, like that is the only Colorado Rocky worth noting. Remember they had Jamie Moyer there when he was like 50 years old. So like there's just one of those teams where I just don't associate anything. Like, say what you will about the A's, you could associate, the dumpster fire of the Coliseum, the ownership and stuff like that. They've been competitive. They've had teams where you're like, okay, and they have players that have actually produced, maybe not for their team, but other teams, whether it's Matt Olson, whether it's Josh Donaldson in the past, stuff like that. Colorado, and I look at that sports town, Denver, And obviously they have the Nuggets right now, and the Nuggets don't resonate at all there.
Right.
They just don't. It's just not a basketball place. Even though they won the championship, you can just go to their television ratings. They're just not tuning in.
The television ratings aren't great, but you know what? They sell it out.
They do. No, they do. People go to the games.
It's a Broncos.
It's Broncos. It's exactly
Colorado
what it is.
Buffaloes.
Avalanche.
Yeah,
you're right. The Buffaloes. I mean,
yeah,
prime. Yeah, Coach Prime there.
Time. Yeah, prime time.
So the Rockies, they're like fifth on the totem pole. Like, college is ahead of you.
But people like that ballpark. They do like.
Well, it is pretty. Like aesthetically, when I'm watching it on television, it looks nice.
It's downtown on Blake Street. You know, you renovated it. You got the Mile High, the purple line up there. You got the bar seat up there, right field. I hear it's a great ballpark. It's a great road trip. It's a great place to be, and that's their baby, no doubt. But the Broncos are as well, the Nuggets. So. Look, man, they're getting no traction. I don't know if they could ever gain traction in that ballpark, in that altitude. They got to figure something out. They've tried to draft kids from the Denver area. That hasn't worked out. They've tried to draft. They tried the humidor. They tried all these things. I just don't know what the direction is with the Colorado Rockies. I don't know the plan. I just, you look at them, it's like, wow, that's sad.
They're kind of like, and now we're seeing them playing better as of late, but the Mariners for the last 20 plus years prior to like Julio Rodriguez and all these guys coming up, they were just irrelevant. Yeah, they had Ichiro, but it's like, oh, great, Ichiro, yay. Yeah. And that was it.
That was that.
It's like, cool, there's Ichiro there. And then he's left, and then he went to the Yankees, the Marlins, what have you. So they're just one of those teams. And the National League specifically, when you have all those iconic brands too, like even the teams that have been bad, like the Pirates, they're a brand. They got the ballpark. They got those jerseys. It just pops. Colorado, I actually kind of like the jerseys. I always like the purple and black, the hats specifically. I always kind of rocked those. The pinstripes I always thought were a cool look. Not bad. But it just, they come through still as like an expansion team, but they've been around for 30 plus years. For as long as I've been alive, I think they've been
around since 93. 93 was their first season when they couldn't beat the Atlanta Braves one time that season.
Really?
The Braves win 104. The Giants win 103 to miss out on the playoffs.
Man.
The classic race. The Rockies couldn't beat them once. They were playing the Braves for the last series of the season in Atlanta, and Atlanta swept the 4-gamer. Of course, the Giants lose on the last day of the season to the Dodgers, 12-1. Solomon Torres, will never forget the name for what happened that day at Dodger Stadium. Mike Piazza going yard twice, and the Giants won 103 games, and the next year the wild card was implemented. So the Rockies, they've been